Hi everyone, it's been a little while since I've done one of these. I am a little bit behind. I made the mistake of picking books that I was interested in reading rather than picking books that were appropriate to my challenge. Now I think that that's a problem because this book, before I start on it, is amazing. Everyone should read this book, but it's quite long. Like it's 280 pages, so it's taken me more than a week to read it because I'm reading a couple of other books that are also quite long. But anyway, excuses aside, everyone should read this book. If you're interested in marketing or social psychology or influence, the psychology of persuasion is definitely worth checking out. This book was first published in 1984, but it has really interesting insights for a lot of social situations and ways people try to manipulate us. And I think that being aware of the information in books like these will make you less susceptible to scams and influence of the negative kind. But I also think if you were willing to use this information to be deceptive and to take it to the dark side of its intended purpose, then you could also use it for that. He talks about 6 forms of influence, or six methods of influence that are really common. I'll just skip through to it. So it's reciprocity, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, whether or not you like something, authority, which is, I'll come back to that, and scarcity. So authority discusses at length, I think it's the psychological experiment a lot of people know about, where someone was asked to shock someone to the point of death, basically, and all of the people experimented on and that who were used as the shockers in that experiment actually went all the way through, because the person was holding a clipboard and wearing a lab coat, which is terrifying. A couple of little excerpts. I didn't want to read some of it because, as I said, it could be easily used to your detriment. Our best evidence of what people truly feel and believe comes less from their words than from their deeds. Observers trying to decide what a man is like look closely at his actions. What the Chinese have discovered, and this is during the Korean War, what the Chinese have discovered is that the man himself uses the same evidence to decide what he is like. His behavior tells him about himself. It is a primary source of information about his beliefs and values and attitudes. Understanding fully this important principle of self-perception, the Chinese set about arranging the prison camp experiment so that the captives would consistently act in desired ways. Before long, the Chinese knew these actions would begin to take their toll, causing men to change their views of themselves to align with what they had done. What they used to do is they used to hold essay competitions, and the winners were largely pro-communist writers, and they eventually became to put themselves in the position where they sympathized with the captors, which is quite interesting. This is from Social Proof. An important practical discovery was made in a second study of children who were exceptionally afraid of dogs. To reduce their fears, it was not necessary to provide live demonstrations of another child playing with a dog. Film clips had the same effect, and the most effective clips were those depicting not one, but a variety of other children interacting with their dogs. Apparently, the principle of social proof works best when the proof is provided by the actions of a lot of other people. The social proof chapter is really interesting. It discusses ways to deal with emergencies, and how if there's larger groups of people, you're less likely to get helped than if there's a single person who can help you, which is very interesting. This is also from the social proof section. This will be my last part. Professor Phillips' own work has traced the Werther effect to modern times. His research has demonstrated that immediately following a front-page suicide story, the suicide rates increase dramatically in those geographical areas where the story has been highly publicized. It is Philip's argument that certain troubled people who read another's self-inflicted death kill themselves in an imitation. In a morbid illustration of the principle of social proof, these people decide how they should act on the basis of how some other troubled person has acted. So it's really interesting when you think about, say, the ram raids and dairies that have been happening and the shootings in New Zealand, and you wonder, does the media portrayal of this information actually make it worse or not? Anyway, Influence, Psychology of Persuasion. Must read for everyone in the world. Read it.